A warm welcome from Budapest to this presentation on iGO.Ahead, a cost-efficient way to deliver data from the cloud to the ECUs, or maybe shorter, what is NNG doing in the area of NDS? So, I only have 10 to 15 minutes, so I will focus on 3 of our core products, which are iGO Live, iGO.Ahead, and iGO.AR, and describe a little bit how we leverage NDS Classic and NDS Live, and I will also make a comment what we regard as a future direction of NDS Live, a possibility at least. So, but please allow me to use one slide to introduce NNG for those of you who are not familiar with who we are. NNG is a navigation software company, whose headquarters is here in Budapest, and I'm in Budapest today as well. Our software runs in over 20 million vehicles, the navigation software, and many of the top OEMs are customers of NNG and also of the tier ones. We have offices worldwide, also a small one in Germany, in Stuttgart, and we regard ourselves as innovation leader in the area of navigation, and we also believe in innovation within standardization, especially within the NDS consortium. So we regard NDS not as a boring standardization body, but rather as a kind of development platform, an industry-wide collaborative development platform. And a lot of our products, especially we call it iGO Live and iGO.Ahead, heavily benefited from this kind of development, what's going on inside the NDS consortium. So now let's get started with our key product. So our flagship product is an iGO Live, which is a navigation system, which allows our customers to develop an HMI and business logic on top of core functionalities of navigation like search, routing, guidance, and so on. And these modules, they work on an NDS database inside the vehicle, NDS Classic database 254. And this database is then synchronized with the database on the cloud via tile streaming and also via update region updates. And obviously a lot of services are also running in the cloud so that we have a modern hybrid navigation system. And here is a video which you probably have seen several times, but it explains quite well the idea of NDS Classic. We compute the route path on the cloud, we stream then the tiles along this route path down to the car, and then the car can navigate towards its destination. We describe these technologies also in some block entries in NDS. And I go very quickly over this NDS Live, iGO Live navigation system. It's also a modern system in the sense that we do have obviously support for EV functionality like range polygons and multi-step routing, and all is done on the cloud and then delivered to the car in a way which helps the driver to make its way into takeaway range anxiety. So it's a modern navigation system. And I started with this iGO Live, which is based on NDS Classic, to set the scene for the other products, especially for iGO.Ahead. So if we look at our product, which is iGO Live, it's based on search functionalities and rendering functionality and components and map components. And we look at it as a platform. And on top of this platform, we run then different other applications. And one is iGO.Ahead. And this iGO.Ahead is now leveraging the NDS Live standard. So what we do is we do not stream any more complete tiles from the cloud, but only thinned out tiles. And these thinned out tiles, they are called smart layer tiles, smart layer paths. These are then sent to the car in order to save bandwidth. And so if you are in Munich and you are traveling around the ring, so Frankfurt ring, you don't need the small roads which are downtown, but only the links from the road. And we send then the data, the ADAS data and the speed limits along these links down to the car. And how do we do this? The car sends its position to the cloud, and in the cloud we compute then the most probable path. And this most probable path computation is then used to thin out the tiles. and send it down to the car. And what we do is we also use and leverage connectivity information. So if there is a bad connectivity, we play it safe and we send down complete tiles. Because if the car then deviates from his most probable path, we still have enough data on board for fulfilling then the functionality. And if there is good connectivity and the car deviates from the road, we still can then ask the server again for new data. And this gives us a lot of flexibility inside a project which is running 14 years, like ISA projects, to adapt also on regional characteristics. So, yes. Something went wrong? I see in Munich end, which is somehow, okay, back. Shall I continue, Marcus, or? Okay, let's assume I simply continue. I think there were some problems.
You can continue.
Okay, yeah, so I think this approach gives us flexibility in the sense that, if during the run of a project, connectivity information changes. For instance, let's say in Albania, now we send down complete tiles as there's not good connectivity in certain areas. And in 5 years from now, we can switch it on the server that we send down these thinned out tiles. And these thinned out tiles then save the bandwidth. And so this approach of iGO.Ahead, which uses NDS Live, gives you a lot of flexibility to adjust on the server what kind of data you stream to the car, and by doing so you have the best trade-off between bandwidth and still play it safe that you have the data in the client itself. Then we use this as the data from NDS Live as a starting point for our Adasis eHorizon provider, which can work on these thinned out tiles or on the complete tiles, both in NDS Live format. And the end users, the end ECUs, they don't see a difference there. They can simply use the data as before, and for them it's completely transparent what kind of data is streamed down. Now, okay, one more slide. Obviously, this approach is data provider agnostic, and you can then choose whether you want to hear TomTom data or whether also third-party data from OpenStreetMap. Good. Yes, one last comment on our product iGO.AR, which is loosely coupled to to NDS Live, but I would like to present it because I also have a request to the NDS Association to look into those use cases which we are presenting right now. So this iGO.AR is our augmented reality application, which works together with our navigation system. So you will see on the right-hand side in a second the navigation, and this navigation system is now sending map data to this augmented reality application and guidance information, then this guidance information can be depicted on top of our front-facing camera or on a head-up display. And we also use ADAS information, so we warn the driver if objects interfere with the planned trajectories. So we know the planned trajectories from the navigation system, the route path. We know traffic rules. For instance, if now a car is coming from the right and you have to give way to him because there is the traffic rules ask for that one, we can highlight it. And we do have here the guidance information. Also, other information like POI information can be depicted here on a head-up display, or we also think house numbers and other things are useful use cases. And you will see in a second an architectural diagram how these two modules, augmented reality and navigation, talk to each other. And maybe, this would be a kind of additional use case for NDS Live to look into it. Just few more seconds, then you see also where I'm sitting right now. Okay, I see end again. Probably not in Munich visible, the video anymore, but maybe for the people online, they can see it. So here's our headquarters again, and you see the guidance information, and you warn then also the driver.
Martin,
Yeah.
we don't see the video.
Okay, okay.
Not
So
online or not on site.
not on site. Okay, then I stop here and I go to the next slide, and maybe you can see this one. This, you cannot see it here. This last slide. Anyway, if you don't see it, I'll talk a second about it. So we have an augmented reality application, and this augmented reality application talks to this AR module, and we have at the moment a kind of proprietary interface which gives this guidance information and also map information to this augmented reality interface. And, you know, one thingy I'm wondering, and I'm not sure, but I think it would be cool if this would be also part of a standard interface. And I'm not sure whether this falls into the area of NDS Live or maybe of more other standards. But I think, you know, how can navigation system provide not only to ADAS application, but also to augmented reality applications map data? And that's one of the topics I'm pretty interested in to have a deeper look into it, and it would be great if NDS helps here. Okay, that's it. Sorry for the thing that the videos were not playing. It's a pity because they were, I think they are quite cool. If you have questions, reach out to Otto. He's on site, and you know he can also explain it to you in detail again. Okay, that's it.
Thank you very much, Martin. We could see the videos, but they were cut short a little bit. And sorry for the technical issues here with the presentation.
No problem.
Yeah, and as you said, Otto is here to answer questions. And for the ones online, please use the Q&A function also if you have questions in Zoom.